let's talk about trauma, but from a different lens. A lot of people, when they awaken, when the body is awakening, just think about that term for a moment. When you're awakening, it's not my favorite term, but let's sidetrack that. When you're awakening, you're literally just opening your eyes and you're coming into a realm, but you're in between realms. So where have you just come from? And where are you going to? What's the environment like where you're going to? And what was it like where you came from? If you believe in reincarnation, then straight away you're going to say, okay, maybe you were reincarnated from a previous life. And there's memory still sitting in the body, still sitting in the soul, not the body. There's memory still sitting in the soul. And we remember that to a point of when we actually will be missing that previous life. Or can we actually carry memory that didn't actually serve us, meaning how we may have died, the family that we may have had, and a longing for that. But then we come into this world, and then we're coming into this world and it's like, okay, well, what do I have to do in this world? This is a bit weird, it's different. I have to get used to this. That's the same as an awakening. When we come into this earth, we come into this earth with all of our memories from previous lives, if we remember. And even if we don't, they're still present in the soul itself. But we also come with different gifts that we hold. Then we also come with the baggage of others before us. What do I mean by that? Wow, the baggage of others before us. See, as you have a mat, that's your landing pad. And that is woven from the gifts you have, the things you're about to do, and the journey that you're about to embark on. Yes, you can go down multiple routes to get to this journey, but there's a journey you're going to embark on, right? And that particular pattern itself that is woven on your mat, on your landing pad, is your energetic blueprint. It's you. But your mat and that pattern that's woven onto there is connected to a bigger rug. This rug is the rug of your ancestry. This rug is the rug of every single mother, father, and energy that has come before you within your lineage. So now if they haven't dealt with specific things, now that can be seen as, what's the word I want to use? There's words I'm thinking of, but I don't want to really use those words because I'm thinking of junk. That's not the word I want to use. That can become blockages. That can become blockages. And these blockages themselves, phone's ringing. These blockages themselves will then make it harder for us to access the patterns that are on our mat, on our landing pad, because they're tunnels. And those tunnels are now affected by the bigger rug that we actually are connected to. So this is why ancestral trauma is so important. This is why epigenetics shows you through studies that it's real. It's something that continues through the lineage. If you don't deal with it, it can cause serious issues. And I go here into this space because it brings me to where I was in the beginning, awakenings. Now all of this is channeling through me at this moment in time. I felt the need to have this conversation, so I did. So when I bring it back to the beginning of where I was talking about awakenings now, you're going through those blockages. But as you're going through those blockages, and some don't have a choice because they came to do that. Others can really navigate past it or navigate around it. Life may still be hard. Life may still throw some serious curveballs. And then they will use things to suppress how they actually feel. Whether that be hard drugs, whether that be alcohol, something outside of themselves to suppress, so they don't have to feel what the body has within it, so they don't have to feel what the lineage is carrying. But there'll be someone that comes along and starts to dig into all of those pipes and all of that sewage and starts to pull it apart. Those people are the ones that end up so-called crazy, mad, within a mental institution. And they end up there because it's heavy. They don't really know how to navigate that space fully. They may not have the right support. Now they get to a space of where they're starting to spiritualize things, over spiritualize things, because they're in those realms. They're deep in it. They're deep in the darkness. They're deep in the shadows. And it's hard to really understand who it is you are and what to do when you're in those spaces. I know it because I've been there. And when you're in those spaces, you're making moves that your ancestors before you have never made. They've never gone that far. They've never dug into the crevices that you're digging into. So once you start to do that, now it breaks parts of you open, because remember, those pathways and those tunnels and that sewage is sitting on the rug that your mat is on. It's on your foundation. So it's now going to affect you. So it now may fragment the mind. It will now make the emotions erratic, because every single thing within our bodies is connected. This is why I deal with everything as an ecosystem. I don't just deal with detox. I don't just deal with emotional health. I deal with everything, because everything is an ecosystem of your being. It isn't just one thing and that's it. And this is why we are doing the retreat in Bali in the way we're doing it. We are going into all of the different spaces, the body, the spirit, the mind, the emotions. We're going into all of that in order for you to have a deeper transformation. So once a person starts to awaken and they're cracking parts of the DNA open, and they're cracking parts of their psyche open, and they're cracking parts of their trauma open, you've now got a spillage of sewage surfacing around their foundation, on their mat, that literally becomes present in their soul, in their body, in their energetic body, in their ancestral body, in their astral body. We have multiple different subtle bodies. Not going to list them all off right now, but yeah, all of this is then present within your subtle bodies. If you don't understand spiritual hygiene, if you don't understand how to navigate those spaces, if you don't understand how to be present in the body and feel what the body is actually feeling, because yes, the body is intelligent, and yes, the body is also important. Most people, once they get spiritual, they basically shove that to the side and make out like the body's not important. But they also seem to shove money to the side and make out like that's not important, when it actually is. But that's a whole nother conversation. Maybe we will get into it, maybe we won't, maybe that's for next time. So I'm saying all this because once you awaken, you really need to be able to deal with everything like an ecosystem. Because, for instance, you go and do parasite detoxing. Now, this is one of what's the word I'm looking for? This is one of the areas of the ecosystem that I build, parasite detoxing. I'm heavy on it because I've noticed the transformation that comes out of detoxing the body in that way, because it connects then back to the spiritual, back to the emotional, back to the mental. It connects to everything else. But that's not where it ends. Most people think, yeah, parasite detox, that's it, I'm perfect. No, honey. Now you've got patterns. There's patterns inside of your being that you have been running on for your whole life, that your ancestors have been running on for how many thousands of years, hundreds of years, who knows how long. And that's been embedded into you. So now you have to interrupt those patterns. You have to figure out how to interrupt those patterns. You have to notice the patterns even there to begin with. And then when you're interrupting those patterns, you have to be okay with, okay, disturbance is going to happen. There's going to be moments where you feel like, oh, am I really doing this right? But there's also going to be moments of imbalance. because there's an interference happening. Everything's trying to basically get at you all at the same time, because it's all spilling out. All the sewage is spilling out and it's merging. See it as all different colors of liquid: the mental blue, the emotional yellow, you understand, the spiritual green. All of these colors start merging. What happens? It makes black. And when you're in that space, you're in the void. Once you are in that space, it's hard to see. It's hard to understand what's going on. Everything merges with everything. So now to somebody outside that doesn't understand that, they see that as madness. They see that as mentally ill. They see that as, you need to be put in a mental institution. You need to be given all these tablets, and that never helps anyone. And then they start to see these entities. Now we're going on a deeper level right now. When they start to see these entities are literally just parts of their psyche, parts of their emotional trauma, and parts of their ancestral trauma that is coming at them to be noticed. And then some people are like, what do you mean? There are entities outside of us that like to feed on the energy and the holes in the auric field and many different things that happen with the body, because that's what they do. That's what they're born for. That's what they're here for. That's what they're created for. So we can't even get mad at them. Just like the parasite. We can't get mad at the parasite because it's doing its job and it's doing it well. But there's also entities that are present within the lineage, or have been with the lineage for as long as you can remember. They've been used to feeding off of those patterns. But some of them have been created through the trauma and things and the turmoil and the mental illnesses. Remember where the mental illnesses came from, right? Exactly. That have come through the lineage and now accessing you. But when you see things in a particular way, you will understand and know how to deal with it. This is why I do the work I do. And this is why I'm having these deeper conversations with you, so you can understand the work I do and the things I am building for you. I'm building things to help people at a deeper level understand themselves, but as a holistic ecosystem, not just from one angle, because you are not one-sided. You are not one-sided. You have multiple subtle bodies. You have a chakra system. You have your body. There's so much different levels to you, and sometimes we can't compartmentalize things in the mind and section them off. But we can also do that in the heart. We can also do that in the emotional state. We fragment parts of ourselves, and if we don't understand how to actually say, oh, my 4-year-old self's literally needing attention right now, what's going on there? Then you'll miss it. And when you miss it, it starts to cause a disturbance in your life, and starts to cause hiccups and interactions that become chaotic. And now you start blaming externally, when really it's an internal chaos that wants to actually be seen, that wants you to know it's there, that wants to be healed, that wants to be held, that wants to be nurtured, that wants to be felt. And this is why when you have just the spiritual without the mental, just the spiritual without the physical, every single body's supposed to be moving at the same time. It's literally one of my old lyrics that I used to say, through music. And I used to say, like, all of my body's moving at the same time. Total control. Let's go Buddhist. Now, when all of your bodies are moving at the same time, it's complete alignment. When they're not, it's distortion, because the spiritual body is then trying to basically find an access point to its landing pad, to its mat, to where it fits in the puzzle. If it's out of the puzzle and it's out of the frame, it can't play its part in the right way, because it's not where it should be. So now part of you is fragmented, and you're wondering what happens. Why does my life seem to happen like this? What's going on here? There's a part of you that's screaming for your attention. There's something that you're not nurturing. There's something that you're not noticing. I didn't realize that this conversation was going to go so deep. I'm not going to go any deeper because I can. I'm not going to go any deeper, but one thing I will say is, this work is what I came on earth to do. And this is why I need to be all of me. This is why I need to have these conversations so you really deeply understand who it is that I am, what I've came to do, and the energy and frequency that I carry. Because the energy and frequency I carry, it's clear to be felt, it's clear to be seen, you can feel it. I don't need to put on any masks. Did I put on masks before? Of course I did. I had moments where I put masks on because people didn't understand who I was, because I came here with a different frequency. I speak ancient languages that most people would look at me like, what are you saying? That's not English. It isn't, but if your soul sits down and listens to what I'm saying, you'll be able to feel what I'm saying. But most people are so disconnected from the body, they can no longer feel anymore. They want to be everywhere else but the body. One other thing, actually. When you're disconnected from the body, it doesn't mean that you're only doing one thing, like, oh, you're smoking too much, oh, you're drinking alcohol, oh, you're partying, oh, you're trying to basically run out of the body. That is one route, yes. Oh, this one needs to be said because my throat is itching like crazy. Ooh. I'm dropping a lot of nuggets with this one. These are the kind of things that, wow. I'm like, do I even say this? It does need to be said. So one side of my throat just went completely dry. Anyhow, yes, that is one side of things where you're choosing escapism through alcohol, through addictive substances that are not actually serving you anymore. They become a crutch to actually cope within this life. But it's also another angle. You're in the mind. When you're sitting in the mind constantly and you're disconnected from the body, you're living from this space. If you're not in here, you can't feel anything. So when I say you're in the mind, you're overthinking everything. But what if he said this and what if she said that? But how does she think? I should have did this before and I should have did. You're thinking about the past and the things that you should have did differently, the people that you should have said something to, how you would have moved if it was you now. All of these things not serving you is gone now. Let it go. Or you're in the future. Oh, I wonder if that's going to happen for me. I wonder if I'm ever going to do this, and I wonder if I'm ever going to go here. You're not there yet. You're here right now. But to be present, you have to be in the body. To be present, you have to be in your body. So if you are trying to escape the body and constantly doing everything you can not to actually be in this lived experience of human form, then what are you doing? You're ignoring who it is that you are. You're ignoring your path. You're ignoring what it is you're supposed to be doing here, because you need full embodiment to be your full self. When you are fully embodied, it's a different energy. Do I still have work to do? Of course, but I'm way more embodied than I've ever been in my whole entire life, because of the work I've been doing, because of the realizations, because of the awakenings, because of the light switching on, because of me choosing me, because of me realizing the things I was ignoring, because of me having particular gifts and being able to use those on self and learn how to use those on self. I didn't always know how to use my gifts in the way I use them now, but now I do. I can help others on a deeper level. So yeah, like I say all this to speak about how escapism is, how awakenings are, how when we come into this realm, you see how many things I've gone over in just this small space of time. There was one more item that I wanted to speak about. Let me see if it comes back to mind. If it doesn't, then I'll leave it until the next time. Oh, yes. So being in this human experience, we have to understand that, yes, we were once a soul, just a soul. A soul is just energy. Everything's energy, by the way. But soul is just energy. There's no physical form to it. So because there's no physical form, you're used to just going in and out and bobbing and weaving in energy effortlessly. You're not used to feeling. But when you come into this realm, you have to feel, you have to think, you have to walk, you have to talk, you have to move, you have to do all of these different things and many other things I haven't even mentioned, eat, sleep, all of these things. You don't have to do all those things when you're in an actual spirit form. So when you come here, you've got to master how you navigate this particular physical self, because you're in this physical body, how to use it properly, how to move it, how to feed it, because not everyone's supposed to eat in the same way. That's a whole different conversation. How to feed it, how to literally speak to your own self, how to speak to others, how to form words. You have to learn how to walk. You have to learn how to do this. That's why I says that so many people's bodies are overridden with trauma, because they don't know how to navigate those spaces, and they don't know how to move and how to extract that trauma out of the body, because they're holding on to situations, they're holding on to issues that happened, they're holding on what he did to me, you don't understand what she did to me. You're holding on to something that's eating you alive. You're holding on to something that doesn't serve you. You're holding on to something that's blocking your way. You're holding on to something that's blocking your pipes. You're holding on to something that's making your foundation. Remember I said in the other video, your mat, yes, that you came on, your landing pad, you're making it heavy. So now it can't move right. You can't move right. You're not aligned anymore. The distortion starts to happen. Learning how to master energy, because that's all it is. Energy in this realm is how you really achieve that full embodiment. Once you learn how to master energy, then you know what to do in any given situation. You don't allow it to overwhelm you. Once it overwhelms you, now it controls you. Now you're its bitch. Now you're like, what? Did you say that? Yeah. Now you are its bitch. It's either energy uses you or you use energy. Which one are you choosing? Because I know which one I'm choosing. I think I've said enough today. I think I've said enough. If you're ready to work with me on a deeper level, now's the time. My books are open. I have a VIP container that I'm creating for 5 people only. Yes, because I want it to be an intimate container. There'll be one-to-one sessions, there'll be group sessions, there'll be a lot of work to do. But if you're ready for it, and you know you're ready for it, the time is now. And this is why we're doing the Bali retreat. It's all about bringing all the versions and all the levels of self in one space, so we can really do some transformational work. You can find out the things that are blocking you and preventing you from becoming the version of you that you wish to become. You can leave lighter, you can leave more aligned, you can leave with tools that you need in order for you to navigate the next section of your life. So book your space, because spaces are filling up and you don't want to miss this one. It's going to be absolutely epic. Thank you for watching, as usual, and thank you for choosing you.